Hey y'all, don't mind my bedhead, but welcome back to the channel. Wanted to do a video that I don't usually make. I want to do like a little review with a brand new shoe that I got recently, and it's the Cloudultra Pro from On. This is my first trail shoe from On. I have one of the road shoes, which is the Cloudsurfer Max, which I've actually really been enjoying recently. But yeah, as you guys might know, I am training for a 50K, and that's coming up in about a month and 1 week. It's on November 8th, so I've just really been doing my research on what a solid trail racer would be, especially for this distance. You know, an ultra is an ultra, but at the end of the day, 50K is definitely on the shorter end of the ultra. So I was looking for a nice speedy shoe that would just really feel comfortable over that distance. I haven't done a run in it yet, but I plan to do one today most likely. This is definitely a high cushioned shoe and definitely one that can go a lot longer than 50K. Definitely marketed for, you know, those long ultras, you know, up to that 100-mile mark. So although I'm thinking it'll do just fine even in a shorter race, even though it's not necessarily the fastest shoe from what I hear. The shoe itself has their Helion HF Super Foam, or HF as they call Hyper Foam. So it's their race ready, race day foam that you'll see in their road marathon racers. So you got 2 layers of it there, and the sandwich in between is a nylon forked plate. So it kind of makes like an X shape. You kind of see it there, that little orange color, little plate in there. So that just helps with some rigidity and stability. It also helps with energy return and things of that nature. But kind of that PIBA hyper foam is really what's giving you that nice, just pillowy, super comfy over long miles. From what I hear, so really excited to try it out. Yeah, I will say when these did come in, I put them on my feet, I was super excited because I felt like they just fit my foot very well. I got size 11.5, which is my usual size, so they definitely fit true to size for me at least. Got about a thumb's width for my toes there, so you know, definitely good for a trail shoe. So that my toes aren't hitting the end and they aren't getting crunched over long miles. And also because my feet will be swollen up quite a bit over a long distance. So definitely glad I went with, you know, my regular size there. Didn't feel like I need to go any smaller or any bigger at all. But yeah, I will say it's On really does a great job at making a shoe look stylish, yet I feel like this thing is going to perform really well. I'm sure hoping so, and I'll definitely be doing a second part after my first run, kind of give you my first run impressions, and then I plan to make a review later on around like the 100-mile mark or something like that. But yeah, so the upper has On's new Leno weave, they call it. Super breathable looking, you can like see through the shoe. So I'm hoping it drains really well too, especially in wet conditions, which I feel like it definitely will. But yeah, as you can see, we've got definitely a nice padded heel collar, definitely good amount of structure, not super floppy, which you definitely usually see in like a race day shoe. And then as you can see, that orange nylon plate in between there, which is a forked plate. As you can kind of see that fork shape there in the outsole reminiscing the fork plate. And then you've got a huge chunk of that PIBA foam underfoot here, and then a nice slab under that forked plate as well, under there. And then the On Cloudultra Pro as well as the Cloudultra 3 share the same outsole here, and this is their Mission Grip. I've heard good things. It feels really sticky. I would say the lugs are about 3 to 4 millimeter lugs, although they look more like 3, I would say. Yeah, directional lugs for uphill, downhill. and then just there's some exposed foam here in this little fork shape that there is. But yeah, basically one piece of rubber. There's no separation except for just this cutout here, which I like a lot. And yeah, you can see that weave, super breathable, see-through. Yeah, definitely feeling like a matrix upper, which definitely Matrix is known for its durability, you know, being abrasive resistant, and just you know, fitting and feeling really good. So I'm hoping there's some similarities there, since I definitely have tried shoes with that Matrix upper. Now for some more specs on the shoe, this is definitely a high cushion shoe. There is 38.5 mil in the heel, and then 32.5 in the forefoot, resulting in a 6mm drop. So definitely a lot of cushioning, especially for those really long efforts. It's an ultra distance shoe, so seemingly going to be very comfortable over those long distance races, which I think this can definitely go that 100-mile distance just off like visual, seeing how much cushion there is, and also just from my own research and watching other reviews. I've heard that it's, you know, and it's also just marketed to go that long distance. And that outsole is definitely nice, although it's not super aggressive. On the website they say it's for all terrain. If you're looking for like a one quiver shoe, one that has lots of cushion, one that has great grip, although not the best for like technical terrain or really steep descents, or just because of the amount of cushion, you know, could lead to some instability. Although what they say with their little channels here, it looks pretty small, although as you go deeper into the midsole, the channel is a little bit larger, and so when you're compressing, your foot's sinking in to like a bathtub almost, and give you that cradle effect, so that you feel more stable and more secure in there. So because if you look, definitely a pretty narrow footprint, not as wide as you typically see for a trail shoe with this amount of stack. So that's how they compensate for stability, supposedly, but definitely be testing that pretty soon and see how that is. I wouldn't say I have like the greatest and strongest ankles. I've been working on them and strengthening them, so I'm really hoping this doesn't cause issues for me, just because I tend to have some stability issues here and there, especially when I go for a more cushioned trail shoe. So I'm hoping that I don't have really any instability issues, especially on trails that aren't too technical. So I'll be keeping you guys updated on that. Yeah, I will say just overall build quality just seems super solid. I mean, it's a legit price that you're paying for this shoe. It comes in at $260 US, so definitely steep and up there, but competing with those other trail super shoes like the Hoka Tecton X, which comes in at like $275, or say the Norda 005, that comes in at like $325, even more pricey. So I say for like such a cushioned shoe, very soft Peebo race foam, and that kind of speed board in there, I say $260 is a fair price. I mean, I definitely need to do my testing and see it if that comes out to a fair price, but you know, he also gets some style points too. I mean, of course this is gonna get super dirty once I take it out on the trails, but I mean, yeah, I mean, so far I already feel like it's justified. Maybe that's just because I'm really starting to like On as a brand, but yeah, we'll definitely see when I actually go for runs. But yeah, I mean, you can get some ribbed laces, which are really nice for lockdown. I haven't gotten any ribbed laces in any of my trail shoes in the past, so that's a first. Even though this upper is super thin and seems like pretty flimsy, like they've got some overlays to help with that. Definitely like this little molded overlay, I feel like, is to help with that midfoot lockdown, and then get a slight overlay for toe bumper here, although it's not the most structured, but definitely will help protect the toes. But hey, I mean, super lightweight for how much you're getting. I can just imagine this would feel great over my 50K distance, which I'm really hoping that the shoes can work for me so that I can wear it there. If not, then I'll kind of have to bounce back on another shoe that has worked for me in the past, but hoping for the best. And yeah, so these are my first impressions on the new Cloudultra Pro. Going to be going for my first run very soon, and then I'll check back in with you guys and see what we think. Hey y'all, so I just finished up my first run in the Cloudultra Pro, and wow, they felt super good, especially just on step-in and, you know, first few steps. I was just like, wow, these are light, cushioned, and just felt super snappy. Although, I mean, definitely doesn't feel like the fastest shoe I've ever worn, but you know, this is my first trail super shoe, so it definitely feels like the best because I don't really have much to compare it to. All my other trail shoes are, you know, daily trainer shoes, not like, don't have any, you know, lightweight race foam or a nylon plate or carbon fiber plate, so I think just that alone really just wowed me. But unfortunately, we just got like our first day of rain here in the SF Bay area, so it was just super muddy out on the trails. We just had to slow down so that I wouldn't be slipping and sliding around everywhere. But I mean, I got to test the Mission Grip outsole on the shoe, so definitely put that to the test in some like wet, muddy conditions, which definitely isn't something I get to do a lot here in California, but you know, it held up pretty well. I felt pretty secure for the most part. I mean, definitely the lugs aren't super aggressive, so I didn't feel like super confident in the really muddy wet areas, but did the job for the most part. I mean, the mud really caked up on the bottom of the shoes, so it was just sticking, and that was not helping with traction at all. It just made my feet feel super heavy too, which honestly made the run kind of frustrating. But other than that, first run impressions were good. The fit was good. I have a very narrow heel, so I tend to have to do the runner's loop or heel lock, whatever you want to call it, on most of my shoes to really cinch it down and make sure that that heel isn't slipping out. And you know, I didn't do that in this shoe originally. I just I put it through the top eyelet to start to see how that would work. The lockdown was good. Definitely felt a little bit of movement in my heel, although my midfoot, forefoot felt locked down nicely. So I did at one point, once I kind of reached my high point, I stopped and tied up that runner's loop and then locked it down better and cinched it down some more, and that definitely helped the lockdown. Didn't have any movement, and my foot wasn't shifting around, which was really nice, and helped with confidence when I was picking up the pace going downhill. Although I will say the tongue itself would start to shift downwards, so that the laces in the top were starting to kind of give me some lace bite. Unfortunately, I couldn't for some reason get the tongue to stay in place, or like to stay where it's supposed to be so that it has full coverage of the top of my foot. So that was a little bit unfortunate. I wish, you know, the tongue wouldn't keep sliding down. It would, like, it's gusseted, but yeah, the tongue would just, you know, shift to the side or shift down a little bit, which ended up giving me some pressure on the top of my foot because I had to tie the laces tightly. A little bit of rubbing there, although it wasn't anything horrible and it didn't cause me a lot of pain. But then at the end of the day, I didn't put in a lot of miles today. I did 6.7 miles with 2,700 feet of gain, a total time of about 1 hour and 3 minutes. Shoe felt good, shoe felt super comfy. Some slight fit issues, but then I was able to correct that, although the tongue was just moving around a little bit. So definitely have more testing to do, especially on longer runs, and hoping that that doesn't cause any irritation. Definitely stability was a slight concern for me with this shoe, just because of the how narrow the footprint was, and didn't have any issues until the very end of the run, where I was running on kind of a cambered trail, so it was kind of slanted. I misstepped definitely on my left foot, and my ankle gave out a little bit. So that could have just been a mixture of muddy, slippery trail on top of some camber, and then on top of the shoe being higher stack, kind of a narrow footprint. So ankle gave out there. Definitely hurts a little bit right now. So that's unfortunate, but you know, I'm not gonna give up on the shoe because of that, and definitely look forward to doing some more runs in the future in it, and I'll definitely check in again at around 100 miles and do like a more extensive review, I would say, once I hit like the 100-mile mark or around that. I definitely can't quite say if I recommend it yet, but on first impressions, really liking it and enjoying it, and really think that On's moving in the right direction with their trail shoes. So yeah, kudos to them. Alright, but I guess that's it for now. Thanks for watching this short little video, and I hope this helped if you had any interest in getting this shoe for yourself. Alright, bye y'all. Have an awesome day. Peace. You're awesome. Bye.